basis. Let's speak to Tiff Lynch from the Police Federation. Good afternoon to you, Tiff.
Good afternoon, Ian.
Nice to have you with us. Look, it's never been an easy job, and over recent years, you and I have talked many times on this, both here and on panels and the like. What is happening in... What has brought this to a head in order to launch the Copped Enough campaign? What's going on?
Yeah, Ian, this is something that we have talked about in previous interviews, and this is not something new. However, it's in the title. Police officers, our members, quite simply have copped enough. They go out there and they perform their roles every single day, 365 days a year, with very limited time away from the work, with their cancelled rest days and their annual leave. And what our officers are facing with the demands of the role, with a mass exodus of police officers, the mental and physical trauma, quite simply, they've had enough. And encompassing around that is the fair pay, it's the mental well-being, it's the physical well-being, but key is the mass exodus of these police officers and why.
And it's worrying, isn't it? Because, what it means is when we hear those figures of, there's been government says there's been a record amount of recruitment, it means you have a disproportionate amount of inexperienced officers. Thank goodness for those officers joining, but it just, the irredeemable reality is that you have this huge percentage of people who serve less than 3 or 4 years in the job.
Yeah, absolutely. 10,000 police officers looking to leave, a quarter of our workforce looking to leave in the next 2 years. And those figures come from our pay and morale survey that we conduct every year. That is a quarter of our workforce, 10,000 police officers, experienced police officers looking to leave, going into private industry or going overseas to other police forces. Western Australia are here actively poaching for our very highly skilled officers to go and work for them. We're becoming a training ground for Western Australia police. How is that right? The only people that really suffer are our officers, those young inexperienced officers who need our experienced officers to learn their craft, to gain their confidence and move through, whether it be the ranks or different special departments.
Yeah.
It costs billions.
Who's listening? Ultimately, you need the Home Secretary to be on board with this. I've interviewed enough of these people in these positions over the years. They will always say, every single one of them will say, I am a big supporter of the police. I have the police's back. The job is safe in my hands. Don't you worry. You can rely on me. What kind of response now? We have a new government in situ. Is it feeling any different? Home Secretary, Policing Minister, what is that relationship like?
Every single Home Secretary that I've heard speak about policing whilst I've been in my career has always said, this is a job like no other, and we have your back and we support you and we are doing everything that we can for you. Are they listening to us? Are they hearing us? It's time for them to stand up and look after us. By looking after us, we are looking after the communities that we serve, but they do also.
And there's a lot, of course, of headlines about policing, and I always make the distinction, Tiff, when people talk about, you can't get a copper around when there's a shoplifting incident or my house was burgled. I mean, the mere idea there's a couple of cops sitting in a car around the corner going, nah, let's not bother with that one, mate. Of course that's not happening, but there is that perception. And it's not often cleared up by enough people to rectify that actually there are many reasons why the police are up against things. Often some weird and wacky rules come from above that officers find themselves having to enact. Issues around, I mentioned the Carver case a moment ago, where you've done your job exactly what you were paid and trained to do. You're taken to court, which was bad enough. Then you're identified, which was bad enough. And then you're found not guilty. Thank goodness, should never have to gone through it in the first place. And then after all of that, the IOPC, our friends at the IOPC, come along and go, we've not finished with you yet. I mean, there's those kind of areas of life where people think, is this job worth doing or staying with?
Absolutely. The constraints, the restrictions, the risks that our members take, like I say, each and every day, and that's whether they're on duty or off. We are 24/7 police officers. But without police officers on the street, without enough police officers on the street, you can't have safer communities. And with the void of our mass exodus of these officers, that void is only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger unless you address these issues, and those issues being the mass exodus and the welfare and well-being of our members.
And in terms of where this goes next, I mean, do you, you know, I don't want to be the purveyor of doom here, Tiff, but I mean, is there a sense that the whole story around policing at the moment could get worse before it gets better, or is this something that can be nipped in the bud with the right action?
Absolutely. Government needs to set out a plan of how they're going to rectify this. And we will be there, and we are more than willing to come around the table and support government and work with government to do this. It's not difficult. We need to be looking after our current police officers, stop the experienced officers walking out of the door, and pay our officers fairly for the risks and the dangerous job that they undertake.
Yeah.
By doing that, we can protect the communities.
It's really rather simple, isn't it, when you put it like that? I mean, it's not asking for much. It's a very simple kind of exchange of logic that needs to happen. And officers shouldn't be in a job where an already stressful job is made ever more stressful because of sort of external things that could relatively easily be put correct or put right.
Most definitely, most definitely. We need the public to get behind us so that we can get behind them.
A good way to finish, Tiff. Always great to have you on. Thank you. Tiff Lynch is the Acting National Chair of the Police Federation. Thank you to her.